Hello, 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 and welcome to this video. Today, I got a couple of book sounds that we can dive into. So, lay back, grab your drink, you prefer beverage. Mine is water today, and relax. Take a big sip. And another one. It's very important to stay hydrated. Okay, now that we did this, let's dive right in. Now, I got a good assortment today of six books. Different colors, different sizes, different stories, and I will be sharing a bit about what I know of these books. Okay. So the first one is called Full Moon Sagashite. And it is a hardcover book. Now, it is actually a manga. So, I think there's actually like 24 manga books. But I got a different kind of version of it, since I cannot buy these little books anymore, the episodes, where I live. But I got this collection. This is the first book. There's also a second one, and I got this not too long ago. With that I mean like 2 years ago maybe, or 1 year ago I think only. It is such a beautiful color. It's dark blue, but it also has this engravement. Or I guess it's not engraved, it's like printed on top. And like when you feel it, it's just so good because there's like texture to it. And all these little stars on here as well, they're textured. So it's quite amazing. Now this story is about a girl right here. Her name is Mitsuki, and she's in her early teens, and she wants to become a singer, but she has cancer and she's gonna die soon. And there are some odds that 2 death angels show up in her life, and she has all these adventures and turns and things that happen to her because of these death angels. It's very, very, very nice. It's a very lovely story. We can look inside. Gorgeous. And also all the art that is normally in the normal mangas is now in the back of this collection book. Just like this. Or let me show you another one. Look at this. I love this manga. Moving on to the next one. A book called Robin Hood. quite a character that a lot of people know. I love this book because it has this wrapping that is such a good sound. It is also a hardcover. He takes from the rich and gives to the poor. In his book, apparently this is Robin Hood, are a bunch of stories of his life, I guess. And personally, I did not read this book, but I found it in one of our collections, our bookshelves, and I decided to take it. Makes some good sounds. Next up is this book. It is called Daughter of the Moon Goddess, and it is such a good book. It is the book that I'm currently reading. I started maybe like a week ago, and it is a duology, and I think I will get the second one because I only got the first one to begin with to see if it's good. It is about the moon goddess. It's like inspired by Chinese mythology, and it is about love, it is about family, it is about magic, it is about immortals, and it plays in like the immortal realm, where the daughter of the moon goddess is basically exploring life and exploring herself and learning about who she is and what it means. This is a soft cover. It makes quite a different sound. I love this book. It is almost like in a sort of old English. It's like, let me read something to you. Just a few months had passed since I came here, but the warmth of being among loved ones had already faded to the echo of a memory. As promised, I kept my identity a secret, yet it was never far from my thoughts. At night, I listened out for the deep and steady breathing of my roommates before letting my mind drift to the shining halls of my home. This is not really an old passage, but I like the way it's written. It's so good. Like, the pavilion overlooked a courtyard of wisteria, the trees draped with clusters of lilac blossoms. The description is so good. I literally see these pictures in my head. It's beautiful. And with that being said, let's move on to the next beautiful book I have. It is called Tuesdays. with Morrie. Now, this book apparently was the #1 international bestseller at some point. And it was written by Mitch Albom. Now, I had to read this book a couple of years ago for school. I had to read it in English class. And I got so lucky. We had to have like a presentation about this book. It really mattered. Like I got a good grade for this because I love this book. I picked it out randomly, and it was just what I needed to read at that time in my life. And I think it's still something that I should read again over and over again because it is such a good book about life. It is basically, as it says, Tuesdays with Morrie, an old man, a young man, and life's greatest lesson. It's about this young man who had a teacher who was teaching them like life stuff, like learning about death, learning about psychology, just I don't know, learning about how to live life. And that young man graduated from high school, so that teacher was no longer his. And then he went on to living life, and he forgot all about the things that he learned in class with this great teacher of his. They were really close, and then they learned, later on he learned that Morrie, the old man, had gotten a really bad terminal illness, and he started reconnecting with Morrie. Mitch started reconnecting with Morrie. Actually, this person who wrote the book, it's a real story. And they rekindled and had meetings every Tuesday where Morrie would once again teach Mitch about life. And it is very, very moving. I cried so much reading this book. It's quite crazy. I could read the back if you want. Maybe it was a grandparent, a teacher, or a colleague. Someone older, patient, and wise who understood you when you were young and impassionate, helped you to see the world as a more profound place, and gave you sound advice to guide your way through it. For Mitch Albom, it was Morrie Swartz, the colleague professor who had taught him nearly 20 years before. Perhaps, like Mitch, you lost track of this mentor as the years passed. The insights faded, and the world seemed colder. Wouldn't you like to see that person again? To ask the bigger questions that still haunt you, and receive wisdom for your busy life the way you once did when you were younger. Mitch Albom got that second chance, rediscovering Morrie in the last months of the older man's life. Their rekindled relationship turned into one final class, Lessons in How to Live. Tuesdays with Morrie is a magical chronicle of their time together. I don't know what else to say. This is my favorite. I think of all books, this is in my top 3 that I've ever read. And I think it will be forever. So if you're interested, this is the one I recommend you to read, okay? And now let's get a bit more unserious. I got a hard that is a food guide, and I found this once again in one of her shelves. And it's so silly, but I'm not gonna hate on it because it's quite good actually. So it is a food guide, right? What does that mean? Basically, I can show you. it is basically just a book that shows loads of images of food. Like this cheese, Parmesan cheese. It tells you where it's from, what it looks like, the texture of it, how it like was made, and it tells me more facts, like for example, how much fat percentage does this cheese have? Like I would have to know. Or like meat, or chickens with their eggs, or fish. Tells you all these facts of these fish. For example, here we got sardine, we got an herring, we got anchovy, we got salmon, and brook or lake trout. And you get all this stuff of like potatoes, for example, or berries, or grapes. It's quite funny. But I found this, and I've never seen this before in our shelves, but I guess it's good we got it. So if you need some information on any kind of food that you want to eat, write it in the comments and I will tell you. I will tell you all that this book knows. Such a silly book. Now we are coming to my last book, and it is another novel, or I guess storytelling book. It's not a silly, just information book like the other one we had. It is called Plötzlich Fee, which would translate to suddenly a fairy. And there is an English version. Actually, I think it comes from the English version. What am I saying? I think it actually comes from English. I think this one was translated into German because it got quite popular. Since it is quite a good book. I love reading fantasy and like love, romance, but also a little bit of action. Just, I don't want to only read about this love story. I need something happening. And this was the perfect thing. Like, I've read this when I was a teen. I read it again like a couple of months ago. There's actually like 4 books of this. I ate that up. I truly, trust me, I loved it. It is about Megan, who used to be a normal teenager, and then she found out that she's actually half fairy. And yeah, basically it's just about her life and finding out where she belongs and finding love and like discovering mysterious worlds. And I love this one. So if you're interested, give it a try if you love fantasy books. Yeah. Okay, now let me put this down. This is more like a book introduction video, but I still liked it. I hope you liked it too. And I hope you get some inspiration of what you might want to read if you want to read again. If you want to try new foods. If you want to cook now. Maybe I made you hungry. Anyway. Thank you for watching. And hope you have a good rest of your day or a good night's sleep now. With that being said, see you in the next